We're going to talk about the local meals program and see if you want to be involved. There will be an opportunity for the restaurants to ask questions, but we're going to mute everybody while the staff is explaining things. So please jot your questions down. We will also be doing one-on-one follow-ups for all the restaurants that want to be involved so that everybody's totally clear on how everything's running and working. So if for some reason you miss something today that you didn't understand it exactly, there will be an opportunity for me to work with you one-on-one, and Michelle, our Director of Social Services and Senior Center, to work with you one-on-one as we implement the program. We're also going to talk about a few other things that are on the horizon as we move through the agenda. You should have received a copy of the agenda several times yesterday in email follow-up. If you didn't receive a copy of the agenda, Bill Chin, our fantastic Director of Information Technology for the town, he and Megan are my personal 2020 People of the Year. And they just are amazing. He's gonna share screen and put the agenda up on the screen so you can follow along. Okay, Bill, I think it might be appropriate to throw it up there now. Okay, can folks read that or see that? Just nod your head so they can see it. Okay. Basically, thank you, Bill. That's helpful. What we'll do is when First Selectman Tesoro joins us, we'll just pause and she will offer her comments at that time. But I wanted to start by telling you that there's a lot of activity going on, whether it's obvious or not, to support our businesses during this time, during this difficult time. And particularly, we're concerned about our restaurants. We value your presence in Trumbull. We want to be supportive. We have been seeking resources in order to bring more commerce and customers to our businesses, and in this instance to our restaurants. You're going to hear today about a grant that we applied for and that we won. It's a $100,000 grant. That $100,000 almost entirely will go out to our restaurants for meals. It will go to the restaurants that sign on to this initiative. It's called the Local Meals Program. It's part of our campaign that will happen over the next year or two called Trumbull Celebrates Local. We're going to be doing a lot of things to try to bring business to our businesses and to our restaurants. So under the banner of Trumbull Celebrates Local, we're announcing today the Local Meals Program. And again, only folks who sign on, like folks on this call today that decide they want to be a part of it, will be engaged in the Local Meals Program. We're not, we'd like as many of our restaurants as possible, but we understand that these are difficult times and some people want to be involved in initiatives and some don't. I can tell you that we've done everything we can to try to make this program as simple for our restaurants and for our residents that are going to use it as possible. But it is public funding. The funding comes from the Housing and Urban Development Agency at the federal level. It passes through our state. We applied through our long-term recovery committee, which Megan is on, and other people, staff on this call are on, and which I chair for the town. We applied for this funding under a food security project. So the funding wasn't necessarily to support businesses, it was to support needs in the community for residents. But one of our members, his name is Marshall Marcus, I don't know if he's on the call today, seeded the idea of doing a local meals program that gave the business directly to our local restaurants. So what our goal is over the next so many months is to put $100,000 worth of meal purchases in our restaurants. We want to talk to you about how the local meals program will work. There is some room for us to hear your feedback, but again, because it's public dollars, we have to meet certain criteria. So we've tried to balance the design of the program with some input we've had from some of our restaurants already that we tested the idea with, and with what our funders require of us. So this meal program is designed for residents that are vulnerable to COVID and would benefit from staying home or not going into restaurants or grocery stores as frequently to get their food. It's an opportunity for them to be able to get takeout, whether it's curbside, whether it's delivery, or whether it's pickup at the restaurant, and to take home to them and or their family members. This is not a dine-in opportunity. This is only for takeout purposes. So we will be, Michelle Jacobs. Michelle, if you can just wave, people can see Michelle on their screen, or if you can unmute Michelle and just tell people who you are.
Sure. Good morning. So I'm Michelle Jacob. I'm the Director of Human Services, which consists of the Social Services Department and the Senior Center. And we're already running quite a few meal programs, so this kind of fits right in with what we're already doing.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle is a great partner. She will be, along with her staff, working with the Department of Aging, with her existing membership list, with the Stern Village community, with the other senior community on Huntington Road, with our first responders, and Megan, who you met earlier, she's on the call. She's our Director of Emergency Management and our Fire Marshal. She's an amazing lady. She's doing an amazing job. And Lucy Bango, who couldn't join the call today, our Health Director. They're all going to be identifying people that have need. You do not need to do that. There will be people identified in the community. They will be given a briefing on how the program works. They will know exactly what they're eligible for, exactly what the limits of the program are, and exactly how it works. That will all happen through Michelle and that team that I just discussed. You have nothing to do with that except for to take their ID number when they call to place their order. They will be calling any participating restaurant, identifying themselves or their order as from the local meals program. They will give an ID number for each. It's a 6-digit number. And again, remember, I will be meeting with anyone, any restaurant that wants to participate post this discussion today. So we'll go over all of this again, but they will be given a 6-digit ID number. Michelle already works with those type of ID numbers in her organization, so that you will be given that. Okay, so residents will have a 6-digit ID number. They will identify themselves, and any member of their family will have their own 6-digit ID number. So for every person that's participating in their order under local meals program, an ID number will be given. We will ask you on your invoice to the town, and we'll get to that in a minute, to log that ID number. Basically, all we need back from the restaurant is the ID number and the cost of the, or multiple ID numbers if there's 4 family members ordering, and the cost of the order. That's what we will need. I'll explain more when we get into the invoicing process. So all the folks that are eligible will be identified, mobilized, and prepped by Michelle. They are being asked, how will they access the restaurants? They will call in orders. They will know if you have delivery, curbside, or takeout options, because we will be asking you that and putting together a whole write-up for the residents so that they know what's available. What can they order? This is both a lunch and dinner program. We are hoping to perhaps put some of our smaller establishments into the lunch area and our larger establishments into the dinner area in order to break up the benefit to restaurants a little bit, but we can talk more about that today. They will call their order in. They will give an ID number for each person, and the order will either be picked up curbside, picked up takeout, or delivered, depending on what's available through your organization, through your business, and what they select to do. They can order lunch off your existing menu. We are not asking anybody to create a new menu. you use your existing menu. They will have access to your existing menu via the website, and or Michelle we may be able to pick up a copy or get a copy of your existing menu to give out or make available. But their order will come off of an existing menu. We're not asking for a special menu. The only thing we are limiting is we are asking that they don't order drinks, dessert, or appetizers except for soup. We're going to pay for soup, salads, entrees, sandwiches, pizzas, anything like that. But because we have an obligation to the funder at some level for nutritious food, we're not looking to do a nutrition menu. We're looking to use your existing menu. We're just asking that no alcohol, obviously, no drinks, no desserts, and no appetizers, with the exception of salads and soups, be part of the program. Other than that, they can order anything else off your menu. At lunch, per person cap of $25 per resident. At dinner, a per person cap of $35 per person off of your regular menu. The reason we set it at that, even if somebody does not spend that, we're okay if somebody orders a large lunch and eats it over 2 days. This is a food security program. So that's fine for us. We're not looking to nickel dime on the cost of each person's food. We want them to get a full and healthy and appetizing meal. People are going through a lot. And our restaurants are going through a lot. So we're trying to make this as simple as we can, given the constraints we're under. Basically, you've heard from me now what they can order. Okay, almost anything except alcohol, drinks, dessert, and appetizers other than soup or salad. They will call you. They will tell you how they want it delivered or curbside or whatever. They will order off your existing menu, and they will give you an ID number for each person that they are ordering for. It'll be a 6-digit ID number. All you have to do is record the ID number and the cost and the ticket price of their whatever they ordered, and that will go on an invoice to the town. There is no exchange of money in this instance between the resident and the restaurant. It is all through the town. So we have on the line with us today, Dan Martin. He's our Deputy Finance Director. He's a Trumbull resident, as is Megan. He's been a wonderful partner in everything we're trying to do. And he and his staff are going to process those invoices once they come into Michelle. I'm going to tell you about that in a second, as quickly as possible. We're not looking to hold people up. We're not looking to jam up anybody's cash flow. The invoice simply needs to have your name on it of your restaurant. And we're going to give you a sample, don't worry, in the follow-up that I discussed. Who the check gets made out to from the town. It will need a mailing address, obviously. It will need the ID numbers of the participants in the local meals program that called into you. Need the cost of the food. And you can, we would like to see invoices once a month, but if a restaurant feels that that will hurt your cash flow, I will work with you, and Michelle will work with you, and Dan, to make it more frequent. It will be an easy process. The invoice will go right to Michelle. You'll get all this information in our follow-up one-on-one, and a check will come to you from the town. There's, again, so it's basically, we're driving customers through this local meals program to your business. They'll order off your menu, and you'll invoice the town. In some of the follow-up emails I was sending to get folks to this meeting today, there was an attachment, a W-9 form and a vendor form. Some of you are already vendors of the town. Some of you are not. And it's a good thing to be in the vendor system too. And Michelle will talk to you about another opportunity before today ends. There's a copy of our vendor form. Okay, and if Bill can just pop up the W-9. And if anybody, you know, when I come to meet with you, I will bring all the stuff too, but you could always get it started there. That makes you a vendor in the town so that we can cut checks to you for things that, and we can order food from you or have you participate. So if you could put the agenda back up, Bill, I'm sorry. I lost my, so, pardon me, thank you. So these are the kinds of forms that will need to happen. So you get paid through an invoice to the town directly from the town. What do you need to track? The ID number and the cost of the food. The key thing is, and we saw this with Restaurant Week when we did it 2 years ago. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year, given everything going on. But you need to let your staff know that this program exists and how it works. The last thing we need for you or for us is that people are calling and they don't understand what's going on. I will have a sheet that will explain the program. The kind of sheet could be given to your staff or left at the register or for whoever calls, but it's really important operationally for everybody involved, for us, for you, for the residents, that the staff at the restaurants is aware of how this works. So again, what will we need? We need your vendor forms. Now, given that the town is actually your customer and not the resident, okay, we are your customer. We are a tax exempt organization. So we do not charge, pay sales tax. And I know that there is a sales tax issue with meals. So we will be providing our tax exempt documentation for you. And we can talk about that if folks have any concern about that during the Q&A. I mentioned that we would like to see an invoice with all of your customers from the local meals program monthly. It'll just simply list their ID, the cost of their meals, and you can put as many people on an invoice monthly as you have as customers. But if that is not good for your business, we understand that some people's cash flow right now is really jammed up. We can make arrangements to pay you more frequently. Dan and his team are outstanding. They turn around things very quickly and checks very quickly. We will need, as I mentioned, to know who the check gets made out to and where to mail it to. And when we give you a sample invoice form, you'll see where that information is called for. I mentioned that we'll need a commitment from you to tell all your staff how the program works. So it basically is as simple as we can make it and still meet the requirements of our HUD funding. We'd like to get as many residents to you as possible. We're hoping that some of them will actually be new customers to you that perhaps have not tried your establishment and will come back and return on their own at some point. There is a possibility that you will hear from the same resident multiple times. We are putting a cap on the resident, but we are not making it a one and done because there are some folks that their families are very locked down and they need more support. So if you felt that somebody was coming multiple times and became concerned, I assure you that Michelle and her team are monitoring all of that before the resident even gets to you. I'm going to pause there before I get to the timeline and when the program's going to start and the next steps. And then we're going to also talk to you about some other programs, and Michelle has some other opportunity to talk to you about. But I think our first selectman joined us. I'm trying to see if she's on. Can anyone?
I am.
Okay. Vicki, would you mind now, would this be a good time for you to offer comments?
Sure.
Oh, there you are. I found you.
I'm sorry I was late. And thank you for just starting the meeting without me because I know how busy everyone is. So Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you certainly for joining this call. You know, I'm happy to see many of you here with us today. I want to thank Rena, first of all, for her creativity and really working with the state of Connecticut to formulate this program. This is not something that it was in a book that you could pick out and say, hey, I'll do this program. It's actually a program that Rena created. because we know how difficult this pandemic has been on everyone, everywhere, certainly including our community and including our businesses and our restaurants, and foremost have been suffering for the past almost a year already through this pandemic. And we know, although that we think that things will get better, we know that things are not going to get better tomorrow. We're still going to be dealing with this for a good deal of time, depending on how quickly this vaccination program can be rolled out and people can be vaccinated. So we want to do everything we can to help our businesses and certainly our restaurants navigate through this, this very difficult time. So we are here for you. I'm here for you. Rena's always here for you. We have information, as you know, posted on our website, updated daily with resources that are available to our businesses to help you. And we will have other programs. I'm not sure, because I did join late, whether Rena's talked about any additional gift card promotions, et cetera, that we will be doing marketing efforts going forward, but I know she'll touch upon those if she hasn't. So we obviously always appreciate your investment in our community. I know our residents, certainly have taken advantage of your restaurants and will continue to do so, and we want to help that to continue in any way we can. We ask that you just continue to reach out to us, because any way we can help you, we will. So with that all said, Rena, I'll turn it back to you. And if anybody has questions for me about anything, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wanted just two other things that one of our commissioners just reminded me of. We cannot bill delivery charges, and I'm sorry about that. So I don't know if you normally add delivery charges, but we can talk about that one-on-one when I meet with you. And the restaurant, the residents are not expected to tip on their order. So, and again, another thing that I'm sort of regretful of, but we are using public funding and federal funding. So we have some limitations in those kinds of things. So those are two important points I wanted to raise to you. Thank you, Marshall, for being in the background and reminding me. I also wanted to quickly acknowledge Ralph Sather, who's chairman of the Economic Development Commission. He's listening in today. He's got a great marketing background. He's been pushing us to continue to support our businesses in different ways. So thanks for being with us, Ralph. I know you did some personal outreach to some of the restaurants to get them on the call today. We appreciate that. So moving, Bill, can you just put the agenda back up? I'm sorry, it's Bill. Bill Chin. Oh, Bill's on the call.
Yes, sorry about that, Rena. What did?
Oh, can you put the agenda back up, Bill? Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure thing.
I know how busy you are. Okay, so we wanted to talk, I left off discussing timeline and start of the program. Look, we want to get this money out the door as quickly as possible. Our residents need the help and our restaurants need the help, but I'm in the process of completing a contract package for the state. I cannot start the program until the contract is signed. We got the contract package Monday. I'm preparing the contract package. Our public hearing, which is required for the program, is Thursday evening. Wait, is today Thursday? It's tonight. Geez. Tonight, this evening, I'll be on the town council meeting with that. Once those things are done, I'm hoping in the next few weeks, the contract will be signed. I can't imagine that it will start, that the program will start any later than the beginning of February. We'd like it to start even sooner, which would require me to get out to each of you that want to participate and to prep you further prior to the start of the program. So that's how quickly we'd like to do this. The state gives us actually several years to use this money. We do not intend to take several years to use the money. We intend to use the money as quickly and rapidly as we can. It will get more orders to you, more customers to you, and serve more of our restaurants. We also feel that the state is watching our model and our program, and that if they feel it is going well, they have hinted to me that if there is additional money in this tranche, in this particular funding source, that they may consider adding money to us for this initiative if it goes well. So, you know, we're mindful of that. So we hope that some of you are interested in being a part of this. You heard me say earlier that we are looking, in order to make sure that each of our restaurants that participates gets orders and customers and money coming in through this. We are considering splitting the eateries and the restaurants that have their menu items are a little bit less expensive into the lunch category, and then our full service restaurants into the dinner category, so that all of our eateries get business through this. We don't want everybody competing and saying, oh, I don't want to, you know, I only want X or Y, and no, you know, some people not benefiting. So we're certainly willing to hear feedback on that. So at this point, we're not going to open this discussion up to the end, but there is a on the agenda. It says other programs and announcements. So quickly, folks know that there was another aid, you know, CARES Act aid package passed at the federal level. Contained within it is another round of the PPP program. Hopefully many of you applied in the first instance and are going through the forgiveness process now. We expect for that PPP program guidance to be out a week or so. So hopefully you are positioning your organization, your business to apply. I strongly urge you to apply. If you need technical assistance, please reach out to me. I will make sure you get the technical assistance you need. One of our members of our new member of Economic and Community Development Commission, a gentleman named Ted Chase, you may know him from the community. He works in banking, and he advised us at our meeting the other evening that some banks are choosing not to participate in this round. So if you have a banking relationship, if you went through a bank the last time, please, in advance of the release of the program, check with your bank to make sure that they will participate in this second round of PPP funding. If you have any questions or need information, please contact me. You all have my email address. You can contact me through any phone number that I have listed, whether it's my cell phone or my office phone. I'm actually in quarantine at the moment. My daughter has COVID, so my phones are ringing to my home, so you can call me anywhere. I can tell you that I think that the money will go further than the last time, because they have capped the size of the PPP awards, so that those big awards that were going to bigger companies that were eating up the pool of available dollars, that has been reduced, with more of a focus on our smaller and locally run businesses. So again, the PPP funds are coming. They're coming soon. Please be prepared, and please call me with technical assistance. Vicki alluded in her comments just a moment ago and reminded me that if you do not get my updates, announcements that come out, we issued 102 announcements to the business community on resources, guides, follow-up, webinars that you could participate in, other specific programs that were being announced by the governor and the state and the feds. If you are not receiving my announcements, and I know some people's emails get jammed up, you can go to the town website at www.trumbull-ct.gov, and under economic development, you can there's a little pull down menu, and it says notify me, and you can sign up for our updates and announcements and for our newsletters. I hope you will do that. That's the most sure-proof way to make sure it comes through to you and doesn't get jammed in your email, because there's an approval process. Once you sign up, you get an email saying approve that you want to receive this. And this way we know that things will get through to you. So I hope that you will do that. If for some reason you don't want emails, but you want to check on what's going out, we have a whole business recovery resource page on our website, updated sometimes every day, but at least every week. There's an entire archive of everything that's been sent out to the business community there. There's financial resources and links to those financial resources. There's technical assistance providers and other information for you. I want to, before I talk about the Main Street Dollars program, which is coming, I wanted to just turn things over to Michelle Jacob, our Social Service and Senior Services. She wanted to discuss another opportunity with you briefly. Michelle?
Sure. Thanks, Rena. While we are talking about everyone participating in this program and being required to be a vendor of the town, we're really looking for restaurants that are vendors of the town. The town has been very generous and supportive in making donations to the Social Services Department. And one of the ways that we feel we can help the community is by purchasing gift cards. And in the next month or so, we'll be reaching out to restaurants to purchase large amounts of gift cards that we give away to our clients. Some of our donors ask that we supply them as bingo winners for our seniors. So there's a lot of reasons as to why we purchase these gift cards. We're always using the same restaurants, but we would really like to branch out and give everybody the opportunity. So it's just another benefit, and we'll probably be reaching out to you to see if you'd be interested in doing that with us. And
so part of the way you have to be a vendor of the town for Michelle to be able to purchase those gift cards from you. So by participating in this, if you choose to, you are a vendor, and it gives her more people that she can reach out to. Or if you want to reach out to her specific to just that initiative, Michelle, can you provide your phone number or your email?
Sure, you can reach me at 203-452-5144, and that does go right to my cell phone. And my email is mjakab@trumbull, -ct.gov.
So Bill, was that you that just typed it into the agenda? So if you look under Michelle on the bottom of the agenda on the screen, Bill just typed in her phone number. And her
Bill, it's 5144. Thank you. There you go.
There we go. Got it? Thank you.
Yeah.
I know Vicki has a meeting right after this that she's scheduled with a team of people in the community. I don't want to blow the idea before we have our internal meeting, but there is another initiative that is going to be of large scale to purchase gift cards from our restaurants for some of our critical workers in the community. So you'll be hearing about that in an upcoming discussion. So there are multiple things that we're trying to do, from the First Selectman's office to our Economic Development Commission to our Long-Term Recovery Commission to my office to drive business, particularly to our restaurants. So just briefly, the Main Street Dollars program, which I would hope that if you're part of this program, you might want to be part of that also. We received a small grant from the United Illuminating to give out $10 vouchers to residents in need where they could use them in a local establishment. They will have to spend 20 to use the 10 against it. But it's an idea to get them out, allow them to buy something that they maybe couldn't, their budgets might be tight, and also to go to our small businesses. The dollars can only be used in businesses that sign on. You'll be hearing about this. There's a whole certificate being developed. And again, it will not be, it will be, if a business agrees to accept it, they will have to invoice the town for the reimbursement. So we're hoping that people that participate in this program may also, meaning restaurants that participate in this program, may also want to be in our Main Street Dollars program. It'll bring customers. Yes, you'll have to wait for $10 of the sale reimbursement from the town, but we promise to get it to you as quickly and easily as possible. And we will go through a whole program. We will explain that program when it's ready to go more fully. We expect to serve at least 500 residents through that Main Street Dollars program. It's not ready to go out the door yet. I'm just giving you a glimpse as to what is coming. So at this time, I'd like to turn back to the local meals program and open the floor to our restaurants for questions about, any of the things we talked about that you're concerned about or that you don't understand. How will the customers come to you? What can they order? What's the limits? How do you invoice us? What do you mean by ID numbers? You know, whatever it is that you may or may not understand, we'd love to talk to you about that. We'd also like to know candidly from you right now if you either need more time to think about it or if you're interested in participating. So Bill, you can take that down, Bill, and then we can open the floor up for comments. So are there any, we can unmute everybody, Bill, or if you can, how do you do this? Do they have to raise their hand, Bill?
No, anybody who's in this meeting can just unmute themselves and speak freely.
Okay, so is there anybody that has any questions about anything we've talked about today? You can unmute yourself and just announce who you are. Do folks understand what we discussed? There's people, can you? Quiet.
Rena.
Yep.
Hi, Sam.
I see.
Giobi's Pizza in the Village Tree in Trumbull. It seems pretty straightforward from my standpoint. It may help some, like you said, of the other businesses if the cash flow invoicing is a shorter period than a month. To carry it for some people right now, 30 days is a little bit.
Okay.
But I think it's a great program that the town and a lot of local restaurants can benefit from. You know, we do operate some pizza restaurants in town, one. And the thought behind that was, you know, the lunch and dinner, you know, could be a crossover. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to participate if I can follow up with you guys.
Great, Sam. I'll definitely follow up with you. Can I hear from, I see Old Town, I see 10 Asian. Can we hear from folks about your interest?
Hi, Kathy from Old Town. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Kath?
Good. I think this is a great program. Definitely interested in participating. Have a couple questions about the dollar amount. So we had two questions actually. A cap at the $25. So does that mean each individual ID number would get one meal at a cap of $25?
They can spend whatever they're ordering. So for example, if they want to have both a salad and a sandwich, and it's as long as it doesn't exceed $25, that could be considered two items. That's okay. They can spend each person up to $25 at lunch.
Yeah.
And in the evening for dinner, for the dinner menu, they can spend up to $35. They can have, like I said, a soup, a salad, and a sandwich, but it's got to be $25 is the cap. And we are not, and this is a really important point, we don't want them spending over the 25 and adding cash to this. There should be no cash exchange with this. They have to be under the 25. They will know this. Michelle and her team are drilling this in, that they can't exceed that they can't add any extra things to it. It's really, that's a generous cap per person for lunch, I think. And for dinner, I think it's fair also. So they should be able to get their meal and a sizable, meal for those caps, we feel. But if you feel those caps are not right, we need that feedback.
No, I think the cap is more than generous. That was my concern, that people would be ordering multiple items, especially at lunchtime, to hit that $25. But that is okay as long as it makes a balanced meal. So I have another question too. I know you guys said no apps, which is fine, but I know a lot of you have been to even a lot of the establishments and will agree that some of these things that are listed under appetizers can be used as full meals. How strict are you going to be with something like that?
I mean, we're flexible. I think Michelle and we're trying to meet some nutritional guidelines to this, not guidelines, but they're trying to make sure that whatever's being given to families is somewhat healthy. And we didn't want to get into this whole designing a nutritious meal menu and all that. You guys don't need to be dealing with that. So we were trying to think of ways, especially the dessert and the alcohol and the drink stuff. We know we cannot do that with this money, but so we were trying to figure out a way. But if it's like crab cakes, somebody might order that for dinner, you know what I mean? Look, I think, Michelle, we can be, you know, we don't want your staff to have to determine, but we don't want somebody ordering 40 chicken wings, you know, either. We're trying to meet some nutritional guidelines without giving you a burden. You know, we're not going to split hairs over what appetizer, but we're just trying to give, you know.
No, thanks so much for the opportunity. Old Town is definitely interested in participating.
Thank you. Drew. Where's Drew? You're muted. You're muted. You got to unmute. There you go.
I'm not the best. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. We're definitely interested. I just had one question. If it's a family, since we do family meals, and I feel that would be beneficial for most people, so that way they can eat the food over 1 or 2 days. Would we be able to combine family members? Since
That's a great.
XYZ, if they're only allowed, say our family meal's $50, and there's 2 family members, would we be able to combine their meals to get their numbers together?
That's a great point we hadn't thought about, but yes. So if you sell like a family pack, and you have 2 ID numbers, you know, two people. And Michelle,
Yep.
You can clarify this when you're talking with the residents. If it's a family meal, they just can't exceed their total cap per their family. Yes, we will do that. Just make sure when you invoice, you just write down family meal, so we know it's not just $50, you know.
Gotcha.
Going
Yep.
up.
No, I understand. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be
Well,
fine. We're trying
Drew
to.
became-
I'm sorry, this is Amir from Subway. I'm here as well.
Hi, Amir. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I just got stuck into a meeting. I just joining. I hope I didn't miss everything.
Well, we are coming to the end, but you know what we can do, Amir? You and I can meet one-on-one.
Sure.
Amir, just give me your full phone number.
Sure. It's 201-344-4230.
Okay. And Amir, what I will do, I will give you a call and you and I will run through everything because I don't want to torture the rest of the folks on the phone by listening to me go through all this again. But we will make sure
No problem. No problem.
you're moved in appropriately. Is there any
Absolutely.
other-
I'll just stay in and listen.
Yes, please do. Thank you. Can I ask, is there anyone else on the line that has not identified themselves? Who is EVERHTXO? I don't know. I don't know who that is. Mario, I'm going to ask at Bianco Rosso, or do you feel you folks are interested? Yeah, you're muted, Mario.
All right. Yes, we're definitely interested. I think the program will work very well, especially for our dinner crowd.
Yes, so I'll be in touch, Mario. Sitting
good.
Duck, we have where's Erin? Did she leave? Is Sitting Duck still on? Okay, we'll follow up with them. Michelle from 10 Asian. Michelle, are you interested in participating? You're muted, Michelle.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Michelle, I'll be coming out to see you. We'll make a time to sit down and just go over all the details, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ashiro, I don't know who's on from Ashiro. You're muted. Ashiro, who am I talking to from Ashiro? Hello? Okay. And I don't know who is EVERHTXOCHICALE''S. Does anyone know who that is? No? Okay. Is there anyone on from Sitting Duck still?
Yes, hello?
Hello? Who's that? Is
Yes.
that?
Yes,
that-
yes. I'm so
Everett.
sorry. Yeah, I leave for a second, but I just came back. Yes, me from Trumbo Cafe and Grill.
Okay, did you hear a lot of this,
Yes,
Everett?
I hear a lot of stuff, but the thing is, I'm the babysit today, so can able
Oh,
to hear
okay.
well today. That's why. But
Uh,
I really interest, and the help and the programs too. So
Okay, so Everett, I'll make an appointment to come see you. So we
okay,
can get you all set up, okay? It's great to
okay.
hear from you. I thought that might be you, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, and for a lot of help and stuff like that. But yeah, I really appreciate that. For any help.
Yes. Okay, so folks on the call today, you're all gonna hear from me. Give me a week or so, because right now I'm working on the contract. I want to meet with Dan and Michelle, our finance director and our social service senior director again, and Megan, because we are also, Megan, wanting to tap some of the first responders for the program too. So we are gonna have some internal meetings and get our contract ready. So in the next, probably over the next 2 weeks, you're gonna hear from me and I'm gonna come see you personally. Okay, to get everybody that's interested ready. If in between now and then you have any questions for me, you can let me know. And as I mentioned, and as Vicky mentioned, and as Michelle mentioned, we have other things in the works to support our restaurants, so that I hope if we have other programs, you will also join those calls so that you can be looped in and receive the business. Okay? Does anyone have any other comments or questions? I see Dan Martin.
Right. For the restaurants, what we're trying to prevent is getting onesie, twosie invoices on a daily basis to be paid. If you can consolidate them into one invoice a week, we can handle that. But I don't want to be able to get an invoice from you on Monday and then I get another one on Tuesday and another one on Thursday and hope to have you get paid promptly. If you give it to us on a weekly basis, we can certainly handle getting your cash back to you as soon as we can.
Right.
I mean, we initially, the more consolidated you can get it, the better, but we can certainly do it on a weekly basis, one lump on a weekly basis, not an issue.
Thanks, Dan. Really good point.
That sounds great. Thank you.
When I meet with you one-on-one, we'll go over the invoicing, because the invoices will all go to Michelle and then she'll sign off and get them paid through the system with Dan. So we've already met on all of this internally and put the process in place. So you heard Dan, if we have to do it weekly, we'll do it weekly, okay? So, and is there any other questions, or Michelle or Vicky or anyone else on the call, anything else that you'd like to discuss?
Yes. Hi, this is Ichiro. My name's Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Sorry, my mic was not on, so I didn't know how to get it started.
No
Sorry about that. So I'm definitely interested to be involved with this program, and then you can come to see me anytime and talk about it. All right. Thank you.
Great. I will definitely be in touch, Joe. Thank you for participating.
This is Amir from Subway. I do want to comment. I just want to make sure that you do have my number, 201-344-4230. And is this only for Trumbull, or other towns are doing as well? Because I have 10 restaurants and they're all in different towns, and some are really struggling,
Trumbull. This is just for Trumbull, Amir.
Just for Trumbull. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So
Reno, while we have the restaurants on the line, can I just throw out that the senior center, we host 2 drive-through luncheons every month, and we're always looking for new restaurants to be our caterer. So if anybody's interested in putting together meals for us, we're always looking for new restaurants.
So can you just repeat your
Absolutely.
contact?
How can we get your information?
Yeah.
I think, Bill had just put it up. If you could write it down, my number is 203-452-5144. And if anybody has a food
just
truck,
give me 1 second.
Yeah.
203
452 5144.
5144, you said, madam?
Correct. Yep.
Got it. And your name?
This is Michelle Jacob.
Hi, Michelle. We do cater you guys already, but
Okay.
you know, anything in the future would be great.
Yeah, if anybody wants to reach out, we're looking for food trucks, anybody who could pack up lunches and we just hand it to them right through their cars. I hear there's a food truck here. But if anyone is interested, we'd love to host you.
Interested in helping out anytime.
Okay, so you guys now know Michelle. She's got some stuff going on, you know, and so this is another connection for business. And again, we have some other things in the works. We'd like to be able to invite you to a future meeting on those other things. And you will be hearing from me for a one-on-one so that everything is nailed down. Please, please advise your staff when this gets kicked off, because there's nothing worse than someone calling and then people don't understand what they're saying. Okay, so we appreciate you. We appreciate your investment in Trumbull. Thank you for trying to stick through these difficult times. And I'm here if you need anything. Vicki is always, her door is always open. There she is. Her door is always open. We want you to succeed. So thank you. Have a great day. Happy New Year.